Hello and welcome to Ringo Rama. Tonight, it's all down to Goodnight Vienna. Hello and welcome to Ringo Rama. So, before we start off with Goodnight Vienna, Ringo Starr's 1974 album, we're going to talk a little bit about my recent pickups and finds. Let's start with the vinyl. So, I got Bad Boy, which is the Friday Music 180-gram swirl vinyl, which is in a great gatefold sleeve. And it comes with the full album on swirl vinyl, and you get a new inner, which is a picture of Ringo that is on the back here. And I also got a copy of Ringo's Rotogravure, just a standard copy. It was pretty good, and it has the gatefold and original inner. Let's move on to the CDs. I got a bootleg CD called After the Beatles Anthology, which has a whole bunch of studio outtakes from the Ringo sessions and stuff like the 5-minute extended private property and a rough mix of Way of the World. And moving on to more CDs, which are the official ones. I got a Paul McCartney CD, Flaming Pie. I love this album. I have it on vinyl, but I didn't have it on CD yet. And it has a nice 24-page booklet. I like when Paul McCartney does his big booklets. I got a Netherlands pressing of the anthology so far. Comes in a 8-panel digipack sleeve with a booklet and free CDs. It's a pretty nice pressing and took 2 months to get to my place. And I also have a copy of Ringo's Rotogravure on CD. This was very hard to find. And the booklet, to Atlantic's credit, is extremely messed up. So the first page, it starts with middle of You Don't Know Me at All's lyrics. So that's pretty fun. And then the last CD I got is a promotional only copy of Way of the World from Time Takes Time. I really enjoy this back cover. It seems very, like kind of MS Painty almost. And you have the classic Ringo Starr Way of the World cover. Private music issue, 1992. I do enjoy like the different types of texture on the CD. I think that was a nice touch, especially for a promo only issue. So let's get on to Goodnight Vienna. But first, let's talk about a bit of the prelude to Goodnight Vienna, what Ringo was doing. So Ringo was hanging out with John Lennon, Keith Moon, and Harry Nilsson for Love 1974, playing on their records, and just kind of hanging out, and, mostly hanging out at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. And he was in a bit of a movies. He had gotten Son of Dracula finished, which really started in 72. It's kind of weird that movie took 2 years to come out, but, sometimes delays happen. So the first track on Goodnight Vienna is the title track. You have composition by John Lennon, and it's got John on piano. He does the count-in. On the early mix, there's actually a very good piano part, which is nice. Ringo's singing it great, and I like how at the end of every chorus, it kind of slows down into a bit of a cabaret. Then the second track is Alan Toussaint a cappella, which is a very nice little music. I kind of think it's a bit music-hall-y, kind of a number. And I quite enjoy it. Ringo's vocal is high in the mix, and he really sings it. And I like it kind of being a bit of a dance tune. And Ooh Wee is the third track. It's a very nice song. And it kind of feels like it could have been a single, because it was the B-side of Goodnight Vienna, which means it is on Photograph, the greatest hits album, which I think Photograph could have been a 2 CD. Like, you have nothing from Old Wave. You have nothing from anything past Choose Love. But the album came out after Choose Love came out, so kind of warrants that. But I think if they came back now, they could have done a wonderful 2 CD anthology of Ringo's work. Maybe include some live stuff and maybe some promo single edits, because some of those Ringo single edits, like the stuff from the Bad Boy era, they're very hard to find. The fourth track is Husbands and Wives. It's a ballad. I know it's pretty disputed, the quality of this track, but I think it's a nice ballad. But Ringo definitely replicates this on further albums to better quality. Like if you hear the song I'll Still Love You on Rotogravure, it definitely feels Husbands and Wives-ish. But that's fine. It's a bit of a working in progress, a version of I'll Still Love You. But I'll Still Love You was actually done before. So it's all types of confusing. The fifth track, this is a very good song. Snookeroo. The single especially is great. It's got Elton John on piano. It was John Toppin composition. It's very nice. Elton John and John Lennon were also working together a lot in this period. So it's very interesting that Elton John would be on a Ringo album in this period. The single for Snookeroo did not even chart. It was probably Ringo's first single failure post-Ringo album and pop success. The sixth song, which I think could have been a single, was All By Myself. Has John Lennon on guitar, nice piano licks. It's just a very nice pop tune. I feel like it definitely could have cracked maybe the top 10 if Ringo had issued it as a single during the promotional campaign for Goodnight Vienna, which included a whole bunch of fun things. Like during this promotional campaign, he went out and hung out at Capitol Records. The video for Only You especially, it's just promo goodness. The seventh song is Call Me. Not Call Me 1992. We don't have that from Time Takes Time. But it's a nice song. I feel like it's just kind of a throwaway, though. I do like the coda that extends throughout the whole end of the song. And it's got those nice backing vocals that you see reappear on Rotogravure and even into Bad Boy. I think that's a bit of Vinnie Ponce on that. And it almost kind of starts with Oh My My on the Ringo album. The ninth song, or the eighth tune, is the No No song, Hoyt Axton composition. And it's performed a lot on the promotional campaign for this album. There's a good recording of it on the Smothers Brothers show. And there's actually a recording of it on the Hoyt Axton TV show, where Ringo starts singing along to it with a lot of people. You can actually see Harry Nilsson in that video, which is very enjoyable. There was no music video for this, though, but it was a charting single, and Ringo performed it from the 89 All-Star Tour to the 01 All-Star Tour. I think he could have done it recently, because it definitely goes up with that Ringo mentality towards excess that he kind of started. But I think in Goodnight Vienna era, it was kind of a joke, because all he was doing was going out drinking and doing drugs and, all that 70s lifestyle. The ninth song is probably one of the highlights of the album. It's Only You. It's got Harry Nilsson doing a lot of the backing vocals. John Lennon did the guide vocal for this, and you can actually hear him at the end of the record. Very enjoyable song, and it had a promo video filmed on Capitol Records the top of the building, with Harry Nilsson and Ringo just kind of singing it together. I think that's a nice video. I think it was actually included on the Photograph compilation with a promo mono mix. I'm still trying to get a hold of that promo mono mix on the Photograph DVD, because the Photograph CD DVD is it's pretty tough to find. The 10th song is Easy For Me. Harry Nilsson composition. It actually reappears on his album Do It On Monday as Easier For Me with Ringo Starr on drums. And it's a nice ballad. It does what Husbands and Wives and I'll Still Love You do, but it actually does it better than most of those songs. I quite enjoy it. And I think it's probably one of the best ways to close this album. But we do have an 11th track, a reprise of Goodnight Vienna, which is just kind of keep going with the whole fast chorus, then a slow little section, then it goes back into the get it up fast chorus again. And you can hear John Lennon on this, definitely trying to get some gusto into this recording. And I think it's a nice way to end the album. This song was also mixed into a single version with the original Goodnight Vienna. It's a nice single version, and that actually appears on the Photograph compilation. Probably the only rarity to appear on that compilation, nicely remastered. So we do have some promotional material that Ringo did. He had Klatu Baroniku, which was the slogan for this album. And he had a whole bunch of pins, and there's actually a nice press kit that came out with, I think, cutouts of Ringo standing with the Day the Earth Stood Still background, which is, I think it's a nice press campaign, with the Goodnight Vienna title, which is a phrase, like when they, I think in like, when they were trying to get out of things, it was like, oh, it's all Goodnight Vienna. It's like a very closed, like, get out type of thing. There's no additional tracks for this album. I guess Ringo recorded the 10 or 11 and just kind of left it. Most of his albums, he does record 10 or 11 and just kind of leaves it, except for the Mark Hudson albums in Time Takes Time, where they record 10 or 11 and then they keep going for a while until it's like 15 songs. And I quite enjoy that because it gives a wealth of bonus material, which I think Ringo deserves. And this album did pretty well. Let me get the chart information. So the single Only You hit number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on Easy Listening. And in the UK, there's not any chart information, but I assume it was a hit. The No No song hit number 1 in Canada, number 3 in Billboard, and number 1 in the Cashbox chart. So it was a very big hit for Ringo. And then the Snookeroo single didn't chart in the UK, backed by Ooh Wee. It was not released in the US. It was only in the UK. And Goodnight Vienna, the title track, was released in the US only as Ooh Wee as the B-side. And the chart is 31 on the US Billboard Hot 100. So it was still a hit. But the album was a decent hit. It hit number 11 in Australia, number 8 in Austria, number 12 in Canada, number 5 in the Dutchland, number 4 in France, number 53 in Japan, 15 in Norwegian. The Norwegian wood. He had 15. UK albums chart 30. The US Billboard 200 8. And in Germany, 39. And in the year-end charts, it was 61 in the US, 24 in France, 68 in Canada, and 80 in Australia. And it was certified gold in the US and silver in the UK. So that's a hit for Ringo. Not as big of a hit as the Ringo album, but he's still coming off of a hit. So I think Goodnight Vienna, it was a success for Ringo, but I feel like the success was definitely fading away at this point due to excess, and he was definitely beginning to slip. Some people say it starts with Rotogravure. I say Goodnight Vienna, because in my opinion, Rotogravure is actually a better album than Goodnight Vienna. But I'm ranking this right under Ringo album in my rankings. So number 2, pretty good standing so far for Goodnight Vienna, but I think it will definitely drop in the future because there are some good Ringo albums coming up. So I'll see you next episode for Ringo's Rotogravure, aka high quality album. And hopefully we'll have another guest on, which will be fun. So yeah, I'll see you then. Remember, it's all down to Goodnight Vienna.